their last game and now.
Yeah, definitely from a not so much a physical aspect, Sags, because at this stage of the season, it's after, you know, we're 11 months into a season basically. But from a technical point of view on the training pitch, it will be invaluable to Gareth. It really will, having that time to rest his players and work with them, look at the opposition, learn the mistakes potentially, the good things and the bad about what's all gone before them in group stages, to take that into a game tonight. And listen, when they get back, I wouldn't say they've been travelling and whatever. They've probably not seen the game that's gone before them with Sweden and whatever, but listen, when I look back now to that Belgium game, I'm so pleased we got beat.
Yeah, well, Sweden can come a little later on this evening, hopefully, and we'll talk more about that then. One of the other things, though, with this young squad, you said a lot of work on the training ground. What we've found at times with England in the past is they don't seemingly bring any of that togetherness onto the pitch, but we've seen that with this England squad. We've seen it at dead ball situations. We've seen it that they all play their part. They all want to get involved. They know what they've got to do. We've seen 3 or 4 different routines already here, and that has to be a real strength for this England side, these dead ball situations.
I definitely think so. I mean, we've looked to dominate in certainly the first 2 games. We've dominated the penalty box. Certainly with Maguire, Stones getting a couple of goals, Harry Kane, you know, we are a real strength. I think we'll score from a set play tonight. The key for me, and I've brought this up many times, are we good enough defensively to make sure we can galvanise a clean sheet, Sags?
Well, that's what we've got to try and do, isn't it? And what we want to do, and I don't think it's been ever more important in many ways, although Belgium somehow came back from the footballing dead against Japan last night. But the first goal in a game like this is going to be absolutely crucial. Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. I mean, I think Belgium had a little bit too much for Japan, and the all-seeing sage that is Proudfoot did say at 2-0 Belgium will win this now, and he was absolutely bang on about that. They've got so much attacking flair. It didn't hurt them psychologically to go 2-0 down, and we've got to make sure it doesn't hurt us. If we do go behind it in this game, or if we're going further, nice and steady, don't worry, keep that passing game going and game management.
Well, it's not the era of Valderrama and all those golden years in the 1990s, and it's not the time of Faustino Esprit or even René Higuita. El Loco, do you remember the old scorpion kick all those years ago at Wembley?
I was sat there at Wembley watching it on the bench.
It was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was incredible. We all looked at each other and said, does he know the game hasn't been pulled up?
It was absolutely fantastic. I don't think we'll see too much of that tonight. I don't think it's that sort of side, but it is a side that has got plenty about it. And Falcao is rejuvenated, isn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has. And quite often with, you know, when players put their national shirt on, they raise 10-20%, and they'll be hoping that Colombia, they do that today.
Shakira's latest number, of course, has been for all the Colombians everywhere. You're my baby lover, Colombia, you feel me. How does the sound of this feel from Jim Proudfoot? This is the team they've picked tonight.
Well, it's still unconfirmed, but this is the 11 as we understand it. The big news, no James Rodriguez. He doesn't play. I don't think it was ever conceivable, really, that he was going to be in a position to play. And the other question was how they sorted things out in midfield, whether they played a more conservative 4-3-2-1 formation. And that's what he's done. He's brought Lerma, Jefferson Lerma from Levante in Spain, back into the side, a midfield destroyer who's been booked 16 times in 26 league games this season. So this is the side as we understand it. Espina in goal, Arias, Yerimina, Davinson Sanchez and Mejica, the same back 4. Barrios, Sanchez and Lerma in midfield, and then Quintero, who's been playing at 10 with Cuadrado wide. Those two will now play in support of Radamel Falcao up front. So instead of being 4-2-3-1 with someone like Luis Muriel supplying the width on the left hand side for Colombia, it is a more conservative 4-3-2-1 formation. Not too sure how I feel about that. I would rather they'd have played with a 4-2-3-1, more expansive, open attacking formation and given England that little bit of space. But Peckerman's obviously decided he needs to shore things up a bit.
Well, we have seen, though, England, if they're on their game, the ability to break down that sort of defence. There was always going to be the worry too, the swiftness of the Colombians going forward here at times, and the way they try to snare and catch you on the break. I just think that this will be difficult for England, but they've just got to take their time here and decide without giving anything stupid away at the back early on.
As Cloughie used to say, you've got 90 minutes to win a game. Here, you might have 120 minutes or even further than that to win a game. The only thing that matters is you win the game. Full stop, and go into the next round and see where it takes you. They've obviously had a look at us and said, there's a lot of players in that central area with Ali, Lingard and whatever, and they're going to try and block that up. If I was playing against England, I would force us out onto our left-hand side where we've not got left-footed players, to Maguire, to Young, force them out that way and be quite happy just to make sure they don't come through the middle of the pitch.
I think it's a night like tonight, though, isn't it, with the likes of Sterling, who've got to get behind. They've got to gamble every now and again, because from those situations, we can be dangerous tonight. Sags,
well, myself and Jim sat after breakfast this morning and looked at some highlights of Colombia, and the one thing that jumped out at me straight away was between full-back and central defenders, they were turned and they looked a little bit slow on the turn, and that is an area, not so much Harry Kane potentially, but certainly, as you say, Lingard, Ali, Sterling, those individuals have got to go beyond Harry Kane and get into that area.
It's got a feeling, and I know Jim has felt this way as well, that perhaps Ali...
If you sit and break it down, they have been done in front, particularly down that left-hand side. The gap between the left-back Mojica and the left centre-half Davinson Sanchez has been big. Sanchez looks, to me, better when he's playing on the right-hand side of the two centre-halves, as he does for Tottenham, than playing on the left. So Ali making those runs between those two, with England's movement off the ball, is something that I believe England can exploit Colombia tonight, which is another reason why I'm a bit disappointed that seemingly they're going to play Lerma in there just to try and shore that gap up for Dele Alli to run into and play that more conservative midfield formation 4-3-2-1.
Thank you, Jim. You're listening to the World Cup live on Talk Sport with Direct Line, de facto 5-star rated van insurance that keeps up with your world. Believe in the opportunity tonight and the power of reason to seize upon it. England got to do their stuff for us.
The World Cup on Talk Sport with Toolstation. Sponsor of Talk Sport's coverage of the 2018 FIFA World Cup, Russia.
The Nissan Navara Tecna is tough as always
and smarter than ever.
With a 3.5-ton towing capacity and a 1-ton plus payload.
Class-leading fuel economy on manuals and up to 5-year warranty.
All for £295 per month, excluding 20% VAT on business contract hire.
The Nissan Navara Tecna.
Business users only. £295 per month contract hire on Tecna grade manual. £1,770 advance rental. 10,000 miles per annum. Nissan Finance. Subject to status. T's and C's apply. Ends 30th of the 9th, 2018. Participating dealers only.
Nissan.co.uk.
This isn't a pizza ad. This is a takeaway battle cry. They can keep their tiresome trackers and delivery time disappointments. You've waited way too long for your weekend treats. Willing doorbells to ring, straining your ears for the sound of a moped's whine. No more. Take back your takeaway with magnificent pizza delivered straight from your oven. Melted mozzarella, sizzling pepperoni, succulent chicken on a fresh-baked golden crust. Chicago Town Takeaway Pizza, your Saturday night savior. Reach for the freezer.
Check their reputation. Check their insurance. Check their background. Check how much time you're wasting on all of this when you could be watching the football instead. Or just go to checkertrade.com and do it all in one. Exactly. When you need someone to do a job around your home, checkertrade.com should be the first place you go. Visit checkertrade.com, where reputation matters.
Checkertrade! Checkertrade.com.
You don't have to be a Russian oligarch to get minted this summer. Bet on all the big matches by buying and selling the world's top players on Football Index, the football stock market. Trade up to £500 risk-free and enter our £100,000 sweepstake. And if you don't love Football Index, get a full refund with our 7-day money-back guarantee. That's as good as it gets, even for an oligarch. Visit footballindex.co.uk or download our app, powered by Opta. Over 18s and new customers only. Deposit required. Other terms apply. Gamble responsibly.
Clive, what's doing Wolf? Whale music? You must be one stressed-out private landlord.
Yes, I am.
Your tenants are struggling financially and can't pay their rent. But you're with Direct Line. They'll repay any unpaid rent until your tenants are out. So drop the stress ball. It'll all be over soon. Ah, that's better.
Claim back unpaid rent after 1 month's arrears with Rent Guarantee. Can your insurance do that? Search Direct Line Landlord. Cover purchased as part of legal expenses add-on. Qualifying criteria apply. Restricted claims for existing tenants in the first 90 days when product first purchased.
Forget history. Forget the years of hurt. Forget penalties. Forget the missed handballs. Forget the brilliance.
It's a great run by Michael Owen.
Forget being an underdog. Forget every game that has gone before, because all that matters is now.
He's at the back post, and it's there in stoppage time, and England are off to a flyer.
England versus Colombia, tonight at 6:15 on ITV.
On DAB Digital Radio and 1089 and 1053 AM. World Cup live on Talk Sport. Full match commentary of Colombia versus England.
England and 2.
Every game, every goal, every day. World Cup live with Mark Saggers. Live from the Spartak Stadium, Moscow.
It's Harry Kane, but there is his Panama hat-trick.
On Talk Sport.
Right, shall we really begin? There's only one way to become champions from here on in. Don't lose.
For this team, actually, this is a brilliant opportunity to go beyond where more experienced teams have gone before.
Hope when you take that jump, you don't feel the fall.
You've seen in this World Cup, the favourites ain't always the favourites, you know. It's been difficult. Every team is playing, you know, for pride, for their country, and whatever side of the draw you're on, you're going to have to play some very good teams. So we're focused on Tuesday. That's all we can cope with. That's all we can handle at the moment, and we're focused on that and give it our all.
Hope if everybody runs, you choose to stay.
Oh, lovely ball through for Falcao. 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper. And Falcao scores his first ever World Cup goal to surely seal Poland's elimination.
We've done a lot of work on them, obviously. You see the players they've got on the team and the way they qualified in their group as well. Like I say, it's not easy to get out of the group, so you know they've got some quality players in their team, and we need to be aware of that.
Lingard gets another return ball and then curls a beautiful right-footed goal into the top right-hand corner. That is a majestic strike.
I've got a lot of game time, you know, this season, and you know, scored goals, made assists, and you know, as soon as you do that, like I said, England will come calling, and you know, I've done more for England as well, so I've got to carry on this form.
And that is that. England beaten in the 2018 FIFA World Cup for the first time. Beaten but not vanquished.
It's the last game. It's been important that we react positively to the defeat. Obviously, we want to win every game, and that's our attitude going into it. And we know they're a dangerous side, but so are we. So we've been doing a lot of work, and we have to make sure we perform on the day.
As a squad, you want to be able to write your own story and write your own history. It's important for us to go out there and put on a good display, a good performance, and get ourselves through.
It's a wonderful stadium. It's a perfect stadium for England, I think, this one as well. It's two-tiered. It's the Spartak Stadium. It's on the other side to Luniski of this magnificent centre hub of this World Cup in Russia. Moscow, the great capital, of course. And as you wander this way, you see the stadium around. It's modern, it's new, it's tiled white and red. It really does look like a snake sleeping. And then you see the great Spartacus. It's one of these giant statues that are all over this great city. And of course, he was a man who knew exactly what it was to face everything for the moment too. I'll be using one or two of his quotes from some of those great occasions in the past as the evening goes on, because this really is for England back from beyond with a new beginning and something very special indeed. England are here, Colombia are here. It's one place left in the final 8 of this World Cup. Let's take a check first of all on who Peckerman and and Gareth Southgate have picked to go through to the quarter-finals of the World Cup. Jim Proudfoot.
Well, it's a night of pressure and consequence for the Three Lions. After Sweden's win earlier, England are now the top-ranked team left in the bottom half of the draw. These the men charged with delivering the quarter-final place. It's the same side that started the tournament against Tunisia. Pickford in goal, Walker, Stones and Maguire the three centre-halves, Trippier and Young the wing-backs, Henderson anchoring the midfield, Ali and Lingard ahead of him, and Sterling in support of Harry Kane. No Fabian Delph, he's still in England and not on the bench. As far as Colombia are concerned, they make two changes from the side that got through just about against Senegal in the final game in the group. Wilmar Barrios and Jefferson Lerma are both recalled into the midfield. James Rodriguez is out through injury. And this is the side. David Ospina is in goal. In front of him, Arias, Mina, Davison Sanchez and Mejica, the back four. Barrios, Carlos Sanchez and Lerma in midfield. Cuadrado and Quintero in support of Falcao up front. So, no James Rodriguez. He is amongst the injured. We are expecting, though, that he will be named as fit and able to take his place on the bench rather than being absent.
Thank you very much indeed, Jim. Look, it's time for the Times and their man here inside the stadium with us.
World Cup update on Talk Sport with the Times and the Sunday Times. For high-quality, in-depth analysis of Russia 2018, visit thetimes.co.uk.
Ollie Kay, Chief Football Correspondent of the Times. How are you feeling, mate?
Excited, apprehensive, nervous, but most of all excited. I'm looking forward to it so much. We've had so many utterly deflating occasions with England at recent tournaments, and this feels like one that the anticipation seems great. I think there's a lot of quiet optimism, and everyone just thinking, well, if things go well tonight, then
why not
Sweden in the next round? I don't want to look that far ahead, but it's just going to be. It feels like a great occasion, a great game. England fans here in force, Colombian fans here in force. It should be great.
Yeah, and I think more than that, whatever actually happens out there tonight, we've learned that there is something to look forward to with the future, both with Gareth Southgate and this younger England side, particularly with those even younger players not here that have already done so well on the world stage.
Yeah, I mean, it's last summer England were winning the under-20 World Cup, then it was the under-17 World Cup. They've done well at all the age group levels. Everybody needs to think, well, are these guys going to get a chance? But I think what has been shown over the past few weeks, look, I know everyone will say, hang on mate, it's only Tunisia, only Panama, but I think what we've seen is the return of more of a sort of feel-good factor with the England team. It's felt like there's more of a team mentality under Southgate. It feels like they're going in that direction. I don't think anybody should get too carried away with those past two results, past two performances, but it does feel like Southgate knows what he's doing, he knows the direction in which he wants to take them, and if those younger players come through as well, that's even better.
Who are the optimists at the Times, and who are the ones that sort of just keep it quiet then? Henry Winter, is he a good watcher? What about Matt Dickinson?
A good watcher.
What they talked about so far?
We're all. I think we all feel it's there for England if they want to. If they can produce a performance. And I would also say, you look at that recent record in knockout tournaments, and it's been abysmal. In knockout stages and in group stages indeed, and it's been abysmal. I think Henry is convinced it's going to go to penalties. Henry's always feels it's going to go to penalties. I think, look at England's performance against Italy in Euro 2012. Look at against Iceland in Euro 2016, against Germany in 2010. These performances just weren't good enough. They weren't good enough even to get anywhere near to penalty, or penalties in most cases. So they've got to just perform right on the night. They've got to show no nerves, be confident, be aggressive, be themselves, defend well, concentrate, be resilient. That's what we all want to see from England.
That's brilliant. Right, well, have a good evening, Ollie.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so.
That's what we've been doing this job for so long for as well. Ollie Kay, the Chief Football Correspondent of the Times, with his thoughts on the night's action.
World Cup update on Talk Sport with the Times and the Sunday Times. For high-quality, in-depth analysis of Russia 2018, visit thetimes.co.uk.
Jim Proudfoot, Ollie Kay there was mentioning this dismal knockout record for England. It's horrific.
We were talking on the way here. I just said, just give me a number out of thin air. How many games in knockout stages of major tournaments do you think England have won since 1966? So that's 52 years, Stu.
How many do you think, Stu?
European Championships and World Cups. How many knockout games have England won in those 52 years?
10? I said 11.
The answer, unfortunately, is 6. 6 in 52 years. Paraguay in 86, Belgium and Cameroon in 90, Denmark in 2002, Ecuador in 2006, and the penalty shootout win against Spain in Euro 96. Those are the 6.
Let's cheer this up, isn't it? Well, I needed strong coffee after that. Don't go anywhere.
Collectivise this. This is Vladdy Voss Talk Sport.
Free bear trap hug for every listener.
Listening to anything else would be vulgar.
Whole day, every day.
Hear full uninterrupted commentary of all Friday's games. Uruguay versus France. Kickoff 3 p.m.
All the football from Russia on Talk Sport with Virgin Media, broadcast partner of Talk Sport's official coverage of the 2018 FIFA World Cup Russia.
Hey, Philip Schofield here. WeBuyAnyCar.com reckon you could find out what your car's worth in under 60 seconds. I know, I didn't believe it myself, so I timed it. And it's true. It actually took me only 53 seconds. Not that it's a race. So if you want to find out how much your car's worth, or just want to beat my time, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com. Think I might give it another go. 49. Get in.
Admin fee may apply. For more information, see WeBuyAnyCar.com/info.
And here at the Construction Site Cup, the contractor team is down to 10 men. But wait, they're bringing on a super subby. A few, in fact. Brickies, Sparkies, Chippies. What a hat trick! Looks like this contractor and these subcontractors used some great tactics and went to supersubby.com, where contractors find subbies and subbies find contractors by skills, location and trade. It's free for subbies with a 3-month free trial for contractors. So download the free app or visit supersubby.com. Super Subby, the new smarter way to find site work or workers.
Beer, pizza, football, marvellous.
Right now, Co-op Super Saver deal is any 2 Co-op thin and crispy margarita or pepperoni pizzas plus a 4-pack of Budweiser bottles for just £5.
And I'm wearing my lucky shirt.
Oh, great. The one you were wearing last time we lost.
Subject to availability, 5 deals per customer. See Co-op stores for details.
At Paddy Power, we don't know what'll happen when England play Colombia, but we do know that the hopes of a nation rest on the shoulders of a man from Walthamstow. A man whose shoulders can claim goals where there was only a hair of a claim. Harold Edward Kane. And now Paddy Power are offering money back as a free bet if Harry Kane scores in 90 minutes on all losing goal scorer, correct score and what odds Paddy bets. Paddy Power, enough of the nonsense. Selected markets only. Match refund £10. T's and C's apply. 18+ BeGambleAware.org.
We can't say sticks like Turbo from Evo Sticks' full name on the radio. We're not allowed. We can say that sticks like Turbo is an amazingly fast-setting adhesive. We can say sticks like Turbo can be used in all weather conditions. We can even say sticks like Turbo holds up to 300 kilograms in just 15 minutes. We just can't say what sticks like Turbo sticks like, but you can probably guess, and it really does. Sticks like Turbo from Evo Stick.
This is for a dad, a brother, a nan. This is for a friend, a neighbour, a colleague. This is for the thousands of people living with cancer. This summer, do something incredible and brave the shave for Macmillan Cancer Support. Get sponsored by friends and family to shave your hair, and you'll help Macmillan support even more people with cancer so they can live life as fully as they can. For everyone and every reason, by braving the shave, you'll be doing something amazing. Sign up today at bravetheshave.org.uk.
The World Cup is all about fans. From the die-hard obsessives, the Spanish, Brazilians and the English, to the pure blind optimists, the Panamanians, Peruvians and, of course, the English. Every World Cup day, Yahoo Sport presents The 32. Stars and experts join fans from every one of the 32 World Cup nations for previews, analysis and opinion. 32 nations, 32 fans, 32 days. The 32 on Yahoo Sport.
Every game, every goal, every day. World Cup Live, Colombia versus England on Talk Sport.
Well, the England goalkeepers are out, and so too are the Colombians. We wait for both the two teams to make their way out here to have their warm-up right now. Just a word, Stuart Pearce, about Jordan Pickford. One or two suddenly doubted him all of a sudden, saying he's not tall enough, he's not this, he's not that. I think he's okay.
Yeah, I think in the group stages maybe he showed one or two signs of a little bit of nervousness, but he's not made a mistake, you know what I mean? And he's asked to deal with a back pass all the time and be part of starting our attack. So yeah, I think he's done well enough to certainly keep his place. So I've got no doubts about him.
No, I mean, what I could see from him hopefully tonight as well, a little quicker distribution at times. I think, you know, when we have too much time to think about it all at the back, that's when we put ourselves in a bit of problem for me.
Yeah, I think it might have been the game at Wembley, I think, the friendly at Wembley, where it was almost, I don't know whether they'd been told tactically, sometimes he'd caught the ball and you thought it's on to throw out, and he just held it and pushed the team up and kicked a couple. I don't know whether he was sort of told, look, let's play with it a little bit, and we've got the opportunity, it's a friendly.
It's quite amazing these days. They do even more work in their warm-up, goalkeepers, with the ball at their feet than they do ever saving anything, don't they?
Well, he'll do more with his feet during the game than ever he will saves. You're probably asked to make, you hope, you know, less than 5 saves potentially as a goalkeeper in a game. It's quite minimal, really.
I want to describe England coming out, so we're just going to wait for this, and we'll get all the odds very shortly as well with Bet365. I don't like the look of the name of the referee that comes up in front of me here, Mark Geiger. I've had nightmares about him already, Stuart. You know that. We watched him in that game, didn't we?
Poor, I've got to say.
He was terrible.
Yeah.
And his assistants didn't help him at all, did they, Jim?
No, that was the Portugal-Morocco game. Seems a long time ago now.
Cool.
But he wasn't great in that match, it has to be said. He was criticised vehemently for his handling of it, for protecting Portugal. There were plenty of opportunities for him to produce yellow cards which weren't forthcoming. A couple of VAR decisions that appeared strange. Obviously, that's not entirely down to him. The VAR today is Danny McAlee, who has spent a lot of time doing that in this tournament.
He was doing it the other day,
He was for the Russia-Spain game, yeah.
He got a lot wrong in that. Well, he did get things wrong in that, Jim. Don't be speechless on me. You've got to commentate for 90 minutes.
I'm saving my voice. Well, what did he get wrong? I think he certainly could have given a late Spain penalty about 5 minutes from the end of extra time. But you know, that's what it is. Mark Geiger, the referee. Danny McAlee is the VAR tonight.
Yeah. Can I just bring this point up? I was just looking down the team sheet for England, and Fabian Delph's absent. Obviously, he's gone home because his wife's having the baby. I was under the impression he was going to shoot home straight after the game and come straight back again. You know what I mean? But obviously, his wife hasn't had the baby yet, so he might not return to this. Well, when we're in the lap of nature, aren't we, at the moment?
Well, they're all in the lap of nature, and we're in the unnatural situation here of England trying to win a knockout stage at a World Cup, so they could all be home. He might not be coming back out again. I must admit, I must just say the one thing that you were saying there. Actually, we haven't confirmed it for you, but we'll do it right now.
James Rodriguez.
Rodriguez is not available to play tonight. He's injured, isn't he? Too much.
Well, in fact, they got two. It's not just James Rodriguez who doesn't make it. Borja hasn't made it either. He's also been training separately. The Palmeiras striker who came on for the last couple of minutes of their last game against Senegal. But the fact that James Rodriguez can't play any part at all today has to be a boost for England. Has to be, because a fully fit James Rodriguez and Colombia are a different proposition.
Well, I can tell you, really, looking around, there's an awful lot more yellow, blue and red than there is of the red that England will play in tonight as far as fans are concerned, and you can hear everybody suddenly move up a notch here. We're expecting the two sides to make their way out very shortly indeed. While we do so, let's get all the very latest odds with Bet365 and Steve Freeth.
On the ball on TalkSport with Bet365, the world's favourite online sports betting company.
18 plus, always bet responsibly.
Well, here come Colombia. What price are they tonight, Steve, as they take to the stage?
Yeah, good evening, Sags. Colombia are the outsiders, just a little bit bigger than 3-1 on the drift on the back of the James Rodriguez news. England 23-20, 1-2 to qualify as well. So You talk about the referee there. I heard you talking about Mark Geiger, of course. There'll be a Geiger counter of his cards tonight, Sags. He's 100-1 to show a card in the first minute, 7-2 to show a red card, and 4-1 to book Kyle Walker. That will be not very good for England's causes, of course, and 13-8 to point to a spot. But goal scorer-wise, there are plenty of subplots. Kane against Davinson Sanchez. Kane is 3-1 to get the first goal. Davinson Sanchez, he's 14-1 to score at any time. Michael Owen was the last player to score a hat-trick against Colombia. Kane's 25-1 to do that this evening. Of course, you've got Falcao against Stones. Falcao gave Stones a run around in the Champions League. Falcao is 6-1 first goal. Stones is 16-1 any time. Another England goal scorer, 6-1 Sterling. 7-1 Dele Alli to score first, and Jesse Lingard is also 7-1. And if you fancy big Yerry Mina to do it again, a big old threat from a set piece, he's 10-1 Sags to score at any time.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much indeed. That's Steve Freeth and all the very latest with Bet365 and TalkSport World Cup Live.
On the ball on TalkSport with Bet365, the world's favourite online sports betting company.
18 plus, always bet responsibly.
Any thoughts as Colombia came out here, Stuart? I mean, the routine is a familiar one with a lot of these sides where the players that are actually starting are out there straight away, and the away sort of in the corner, the reserves and the squad members just sort of playing a little 1 and 2 touch with Piggy in the middle.
What I would say, Sags, is the times I, as a manager, have been out there, you try to watch your team. Are they at it? Are they not at it? Are they focused in the warm-up? And it's absolutely no indicator to how they're going to play in the game. It really isn't. And as I say, they're just going through an easy stretch individually before the trainer pulls them in, and looks as though they'll do, as they normally do, a little bit of possession work.
Well, they're out here pretty early. It's nowhere near as hot as it has been, of course. Good conditions for us, and I've got a great shot on my monitor here of the long walk from the England dressing room for the England players, and they look happy enough to me. Harry Kane is leading the charge, and the rest of them, Sterling in particular, looks very comfortable in himself. So too do 1 or 2 of the others. Dele Alli always at this stage for me is in a different zone. He's concentrating himself too. A big moment for the likes of Trippier and all of the other players, but they're very much as one, this group. They understand each other, don't they? You can see that.
A lot's been said about Gareth going into this tournament, and rightly so. I think he's conducted himself and carried himself as a figurehead of our nation brilliantly, but Steve Holland needs a lot of plaudits. Very quiet man in the background, great deal of experience, does a lot of coaching behind the scenes with the team as well, and he's a great confidant for Gareth.
Well, the importance of somebody like Steve Holland and his great experience as well is that you know, he can disagree probably at times with Gareth. It's finally Gareth's decision, but Gareth needs to know what somebody like him thinks. Here they come. This is England, and Harry Kane, as always, strides out in front of the side. You can hear the cat calls from the Colombians. You'll be quiet soon, you lot. After Kane puts one past you, don't worry about that over there. You better get your vocals sorted already. England look magnificent tonight. They're going to be wearing red. I've just got this thought as they make their way onto the pitch. I'm no longer concerned myself with the thoughts beyond this stadium, the Spartak Stadium, nor should you. A true champion dreams only, England players of the arena. They're it. What about these teams having met in the past?
And it's there! A goal! After less than 2 minutes, Martin Peters turns up once again with the vital goal for the world champions, and they did it in 90 seconds. Peters, Charlton. Oh, yes! 3-0, and the goalkeeper hardly moved to it. Ball. It's there! It's gone on his head. Alan Ball, who's had a great match, clinches it.
Rica. Oh, yes, it's there! That's terrific stuff from England's attack. It happened so quickly, Colombia didn't know what had hit them. And there's Escobar. Oh, against the bar and in! And Escobar equalises after 66 minutes for Colombia.
Redknapp. Goodness me, have you ever seen anything like that in your life from a goalkeeper? Extraordinary piece of work by Higuita. Anderton! Well, that's brilliant for England.
from Ramirez, and they've scored. Crouch in the centre with Owen. Owen near post! It's the hat-trick for Michael Owen.
Well, plenty of words and thoughts and commentary there with England in mind from years gone by and previous clashes with Colombia. Let's talk a little bit more about Colombia right now and the modern Colombian side here with a British journalist based in Bogota, Carl Walswick. Carl, good evening. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
They must be desperately disappointed, of course, with the calf strain, and James hasn't made it. But, you know, that's tournament football and they've got to get on with it. How are they feeling about this game against England?
Yeah, it's overshadowed everything really in their preparations. All the media has been concerned about James. He's their star player. He's probably their only world-class, truly world-class player. Of their last 15 goals they scored at the World Cup, he's contributed to 10 of them. So, and after his achievements 4 years ago, it's a major blow. So I think they would still see England as favourites. The history weighs heavily in England's favour, and for Colombia that's always been a problem, playing against big teams. Under Peckham, they've come on leaps and bounds really, but they haven't yet beat a truly top-class team, and so I think most people in Colombia would say we've got a chance, but England are favourites.
So with that in mind and what's left, is Quintero vital tonight?
Absolutely. He's the creative axis now. He's a number 10 like James, but he's less mobile. He's only played 90 minutes 3 times in 2018. He's had an amazingly curious career, fell off the cliff after scoring at the last World Cup, and yeah, here he is. If you'd have said to me 5 months ago he's going to be in the squad, I'd have said that you don't know anything about Colombian football, and yet here he is starting, and he's going to be really crucial to Colombia, especially from set pieces. Watch his delivery there.
Yeah, and that combination with the captain Falcao, I guess that's going to be important.
Yeah, those linking up. They'll always try and involve Cuadrado, the right winger who was at Chelsea. The biggest choice so far this tournament has been playing against Poland, where they played against a back three, and exploiting that space behind the left wing back, behind Ashley Young in this case, is going to be where Beckman's going to focus their energies. So watch for that, and set pieces too, because Jerry Mina, he's named after a mouse, Tom and Jerry fame, but he's 6'5", and he's got the the stature of a.
He scored already, hasn't he? He's a
twice,
great header.
2 goals, two goals this tournament. Central defender. He's already got 5 goals for his country in just 12 starts, so it's not a bad record, really.
Got great support tonight as well. The Colombians, as always, make these big trips.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was expected 4 years ago. I was there in Brazil, and after 16 years watching the World Cup back home on the telly, you can expect a lot of fans, but it really is incredible how many have come out to Russia. 67,000 Colombians have been here at some point buying the tickets, and yeah, again, it's going to be almost a home crowd for them.
What's it going to be like back in Bogota?
Well, 4 years ago, after the first game, they won 3-0, their first World Cup victory for 16 years. It got so out of hand that most cities imposed a booze ban. And there was one city that imposed a curfew. You couldn't go out after 8 o'clock because it got so crazy. This time around, the kick-off time for this one is a bit kinder. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But a lot of the other games were really early in the morning, where the bars weren't allowed to sell alcohol. So, no, if they win this, it will explode, I'm sure.
How's your conflict of interest?
No comment.
I don't suppose you're allowed to make any comment on that. From what you've seen of England, though, do you think it's going to be... Jim was telling us, the change of formation defensively for Colombia, first of all, to shut England down, hopefully hit them on the break.
Yeah, from what I've seen from England this tournament, I was particularly impressed with them against Tunisia. I know 2-1 doesn't sound a lot, but the way they kept their heads, they didn't resort to the long ball game, they didn't panic. And having been an England fan for most of my life, I've seen that all too often. I've been mentally scarred by those performances against Algeria and Iceland, so I think that's really encouraging, and I'm massively impressed by Gareth Southgate. I think he's cleaned the whole squad out, and it's fresh, young, and a different team to what we're used to, and that's encouraging for England.
Lovely to talk to you, Carl.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
And let's hope it's going to be a big night.
It's the right weather for, isn't it? It's British weather here.
It's British weather. I mean, most Colombians, you haven't thinned your blood that much then, because most Colombians are wearing big furry jackets tonight.
Yeah, no, I'm used to it.
Yeah. Good to see you.
All right, thank you very much
indeed. That's
okay,
Carl Walsick. And his thoughts now based in Colombia, and big moment for him to write on these two sides tonight. England against Colombia for a place in the last 8 of the World Cup here in Russia. We are under 30 minutes away from kickoff here on World Cup Live on your World Cup station, Talk Sport.
The World Cup Live on TalkSport with Just Eat, the app for world-class takeaways. Order yours tonight and you could win a spectacular 2018 football plate, like this one. Just Eat. Put it on a plate.
The World Cup is all about fans. From the die-hard obsessives, the Spanish, Brazilians and the English, to the pure blind optimists, the Panamanians, Peruvians and, of course, the English. Every World Cup day, Yahoo Sport presents The 32. Stars and experts join fans from every one of the 32 World Cup nations for previews, analysis and opinion. 32 nations, 32 fans, 32 days. The 32 on Yahoo Sport.
We can't say sticks like Turbo from Evo Sticks' full name on the radio were not allowed. We can say that sticks like Turbo is an amazingly fast-setting adhesive. We can say sticks like Turbo can be used in all weather conditions. We can even say sticks like Turbo holds up to 300 kilograms in just 15 minutes. We just can't say what sticks like Turbo sticks like, but you can probably guess, and it really does. Sticks like Turbo from Evo Stick.
When Dave met Steve, sparks flew. When Barry met Gary, the foundations were laid. When Fred met Alex, they knew it would work. And they all met thanks to SuperSubby.com. For subcontractors looking for contractors and contractors looking for subbies, Super Subby finds the perfect match by skills, location and trade. It's free for subbies with a 3-month free trial for contractors. So download the app from the App Store and Google Play or visit SuperSubby.com. Super Subby, the new, smarter way to find site work or workers.
The World Cup, the biggest stage for upsets, passion and opportunity. Your gut says to take advantage of every game, and your smarts say where to go. Because Betfair have had the best odds on the World Cup, so you always get the most from your bet. Betfair, where gut instinct meets smarts.
Data provided by TX Odds and BetRadar, based on Betfair Sportsbook average match odds over round since 12th of March 2018. Full terms at betfair.com, 18+, begambleaware.org.
Philip Schofield here. I love that with WeBuyAnyCar.com you could find out what your car's worth in 60 seconds. Then you can get back to doing whatever you were doing, like your hedge trimming. You can't see, but I've sculpted a flamingo mid-flight, and I'm pretty pleased with it. To find out how much your car's worth in 60 seconds, enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com.
Admin fee may apply. For more information, see WeBuyAnyCar.com/info.
This is for a dad, a brother, a nan. This is for a friend, a neighbour, a colleague. This is for the thousands of people living with cancer. This summer, do something incredible and brave the shave for Macmillan Cancer Support. Get sponsored by friends and family to shave your hair, and you'll help Macmillan support even more people with cancer, so they can live life as fully as they can. For everyone and every reason, by braving the shave, you'll be doing something amazing. Sign up today at bravetheshave.org.uk.
Oh, it's great to see everyone, isn't it?
Yeah, you can't beat a good picnic.
Your local Co-op's latest summer deal is 3 for 2 on selected picnic food, including Scotch eggs, mixed olives and feta, coleslaw and many more.
When I said we'd all go out to eat, I meant it.
Varieties are stocked, cheapest item free.
Hey, Manolo. What's up, man? Get your head out your culo, man. TalkSport have done a special deal with the Russians to bring you live commentary of Colombia versus England. Tonight from 7 on TalkSport.
That's right.
I never liked the Colombians.
I like you, Tony.
Shut up, Sosa. All I have in this world is my word and my footballs. And I don't break them for no one, man. Tell them, Manolo.
Colombia versus England on TalkSport, man.
Say hello to our little game, because Sosa says so.
That's right.
Shut up.
Okay, I've avoided it for as long as I can, but we have to talk about the P word.
It's about being able to execute a technique under pressure.
The other
players going to try and console Gareth Southgate, but there is no consolation.
I played in a team that won a quarter-final on penalties as well, so it tends to be the guys that aren't used to being in that situation for their club that then have to have a strategy for dealing with it.
Harry Kane, right-footed, against Pinedo! England are 2 up! Wonderful penalty!
Every player is different. I'm someone who likes to have a routine and likes to practice that routine and take that into a game, but some players are different.
Would you want to be Chris Waddle now, or even Stuart Pearce? And England are out of the World Cup.
Well, look at this for character. Stuart Pearce trying to cleanse his soul, if you like, and he has done. That's a great moment. That means more than just another goal for England. That means everything to Pearce. If he doesn't score here, England are in the semi-finals. And he doesn't! Seaman saves! It's England's semi-final!
Obviously, penalty shootouts can happen, which we've seen over the years with England, but no, we'll just practice every single day, and then obviously when it comes to it, whoever's selected will step up and put it back in the net.
You back him to score quickly, yes or no?
Yes. Oh, he has it! No! Argentina go through, and England go out!
Clearly after a period of defeats, then there's something a little bit more to it.
Here goes Vassell. Oh, and Ricardo saved it. Here's to put Portugal in the semi-final.
Lampard against Ricardo. Saved! It's Gerrard. Saved! And England, as usual, lose on a penalty shootout.
Alessandro Diamante to send England out of Euro 2012. He steps up and sends England home.
I've got the confidence in my own ability to step up and take one. So if it goes to them stages there, you know, I'll definitely be one to put my hand up and want to take one.
There's a lot of football before that point, and our primary focus is preparing for what happens during the flow of the game. But should it come to that stage, we're ready.
Well, one of the benefits that we have with having Stuart Pearce here is when we talk to him tactically and what really matters when it comes to tournament football. And Jim and I were just proud of being his company last night as we talked about moving the penalty forward. We've heard that we know all about you and your penalties and everything, but the exact science and art of taking a penalty as you see it, last night made sense to me, just as it does when you, as a goalkeeper, are out practicing, or when you're a player taking free kicks.
It's as straightforward as that. I mean, it surprises me when people just write off taking penalties as, oh, it's a lottery. Yet players like Beckham, players like Ronaldo practice hundreds and hundreds and thousands of free kicks to replicate what they might do in match action. For me, my vision for the FA when I joined them was every time a player comes to join the FA after training, they practice penalties. So what happens when we get a squad of 23 players out there today, they've got hundreds of stats on how good or how bad they are at taking penalties. So at the end of 2 hours of football, Gareth can look down a sheet of paper and say, I can tell you in the squad that's in front of me here, Trippier, Walker, Henderson, Sterling and Young have all practiced penalties. Henderson in my care has practiced probably over 200 penalties. So I can tell you that Henderson's probably percentage score rate is somewhere in the region of late 70s, early 80%. That is a good ratio when you're taking penalties against goalkeepers that know your technique. And that's what you've got to get to eventually, because I've come home from 2 major tournaments on a penalty shootout.
Yeah. So when people say, oh, you can't in training ever replicate the atmosphere, the moment, the feeling and what have you, you can't do that with all those other things. And the other night, as you mentioned, Ronaldo, right at the start of this tournament, we saw it. He had it was as much a penalty kick as anything else. That free kick from outside the box that he'd also practiced 1,000 times. Wimbledon's going on at the moment, and I know the greats of tennis practice. Not worrying about replicating it in action, but knowing that they're totally prepared to go into action.
It's replicating it to know, for the players to practice what side of the goal they're statistically better at taking them. And more importantly, over the years, it's the non-penalty taking players that end up near enough putting England out of penalty shootouts. Chris Waddle's not a penalty taker. Gareth Southgate wasn't. Ince wasn't. David Batty wasn't. There's a lot of players that end up taking sixth in line that we've got absolutely no idea whether they're good or bad penalty taker because we've never practiced with them. Now, that can't be right, Sags.
No, it can't be. Well, hoping he's not coming to that tonight. How are you feeling, by the way, now?
I'm quite comfortable. I tell you what, I'm looking.
The fans at home want to know how Pearce is feeling right now.
I'm looking forward to seeing this team take the next step in their evolution. If we're going to be good enough to win the World Cup or go into the latter stages of it, we've got to handle the occasion, and we've all, to a man, have probably got to put in a 7 or 8 out of 10.
We've got people joining us all the time, Jim. Can you just give us a check on the teams?
Of course. England have named the side that we expected them to name. So it's the same team that started against Tunisia in the first match of the tournament. Pickford in goal. Walker, who's on a yellow card. Stones and Maguire are the 3 centre-halves. Trippier and Young are the wing-backs. Henderson returns in the centre of midfield. Dele Alli's fit. Lingard and Ali both ahead of Henderson, and Sterling gets the nod to support Harry Kane, who's still top of the Golden Boot charts. As far as Colombia are concerned, Espina in goals, the same back 4, Arias, Mina, Davinson Sanchez and Mejica. They'll play 3 in midfield this time. They haven't yet in the tournament. Barrios, Carlos Sanchez and Lerma. Cuadrado and Quintero will play in slightly narrower positions, but can very quickly drift wide, and Falcao is up front. So a slightly imbalanced Colombian formation, much more natural width on the right than they will have on the left.
Well, you can obviously hear the atmosphere we've got for you here in the Spartak Stadium. It's perfect right now. England were lost out of the 2 sides. They're first back into the dressing rooms now, and the next time we see them will be for all the action. The action doesn't finish until the end of this tournament, whatever happens to England, whatever happens to Colombia. Remember Sweden earlier on today, they managed to beat Switzerland by a goal to nil to reach Samara, and that is where either Colombia or England will be going to take on Sweden in the quarterfinals of the 2018 World Cup here in Russia next Saturday evening. I hope you're making yourself comfortable. Strap yourself in, get yourself in your right chair. If you're driving tonight with us, just make sure you're taking it a little easier, because this is going to be some journey. And it's coming up next, and you're listening to the World Cup live on TalkSport with Direct Line, de facto 5-star rated van insurance that keeps up with your world.
The football in Russia on TalkSport with Direct Line. Broadcast sponsor of TalkSport's coverage of the 2018 FIFA World Cup, Russia.
And here at the Construction Site Cup, the contractor team is down to 10 men. But wait, they're bringing on a super subby. A few, in fact. Brickies, Sparkies, Chippies. What a hat trick! Looks like this contractor and these subcontractors used some great tactics and went to supersubby.com, where contractors find subbies and subbies find contractors by skills, location and trade. It's free for subbies with a 3-month free trial for contractors. So download the free app or visit supersubby.com. Super Subby, the new smarter way to find site work or workers.
This is for a dad, a brother, a nan. This is for a friend, a neighbour, a colleague. This is for the thousands of people living with cancer. This summer, do something incredible and brave the shave for Macmillan Cancer Support. Get sponsored by friends and family to shave your hair, and you'll help Macmillan support even more people with cancer, so they can live life as fully as they can. For everyone and every reason, by braving the shave, you'll be doing something amazing. Sign up today at bravetheshave.org.uk.
The World Cup is all about fans. From the die-hard obsessives, the Spanish, Brazilians and the English, to the pure blind optimists, the Panamanians, Peruvians and, of course, the English. Every World Cup day, Yahoo Sport presents The 32. Stars and experts join fans from every one of the 32 World Cup nations for previews, analysis and opinion. 32 nations, 32 fans, 32 days. The 32 on Yahoo Sport.
Hey, Philip Schofield here. WeBuyAnyCar.com reckon you could find out what your car's worth in under 60 seconds. I know, I didn't believe it myself, so I timed it. And it's true. It actually took me only 53 seconds. Not that it's a race. So if you want to find out how much your car's worth, or just want to beat my time, Enter your reg number now at WeBuyAnyCar.com. Think I might give it another go. 49. Get in.
Admin fee may apply. For more information, see WeBuyAnyCar.com/info.
Beer, pizza, football, marvellous.
Right now, Co-op Super Saver deal is any 2 Co-op thin and crispy margarita or pepperoni pizzas plus a 4-pack of Budweiser bottles for just £5.
And I'm wearing my lucky shirt.
Oh, great. The one you were wearing last time we lost.
Subject to availability. 5 deals per customer. See Co-op stores for details.
We can't say sticks like Turbo from Evo Sticks' full name on the radio. We're not allowed. We can say that sticks like Turbo is an amazingly fast-setting adhesive. We can say sticks like Turbo can be used in all weather conditions. We can even say sticks like Turbo holds up to 300 kilograms in just 15 minutes. We just can't say what sticks like Turbo sticks like, but you can probably guess, and it really does. Sticks like Turbo from Evo Stick.
At Paddy Power, we don't know what'll happen when England play Colombia, but we do know that the hopes of a nation rest on the shoulders of a man from Walthamstow. A man whose shoulders can claim goals where there was only a hair of a claim. Harold Edward Kane. And now Paddy Power are offering money back as a free bet if Harry Kane scores in 90 minutes on all losing goal scorer, correct score and what odds Paddy bets. Paddy Power, enough of the nonsense. Selected markets only. Match refund £10. T's and C's apply. 18+ BeGambleAware.org.
From Russia, with goals. World Cup live. Colombia versus England on Talk Sport.
Just looking around this magnificent stadium, it doesn't have the largesse of the Luzhniki, also here in Moscow, where the semi-final and the final will take place, along with St. Petersburg for that other semi-final. But what it does has real impact. It's steep-sided, and it's a great view for everybody. And the man in the middle of the stadium here has just asked the Colombians to stand and show their voice, and they've done it too. There are an awful lot of them here, and if you look all the way around the stadium, it is 3/4 full of those bright yellow shirts and the reds and the blue, and they're in full voice. And one or two of them with the old wigs on, the Valderrama wig, he was some player, wasn't he? As far as the England fans are concerned, they are at mostly away to our right, behind the goal where Nigel Adderley is, and I'm hoping Nigel Adderley is with us. I'd like a final word before we get underway, Nigel, with you there. England fans will have to be in good voice tonight. They're going to be outsung if they don't watch it by a much bigger crowd from Colombia.
That's absolutely right, Mark. There are also plenty of Colombian fans mixed in with the England supporters behind me. Felix Mondragon, the legendary Colombian goalkeeper, was the player on the mic there trying to whip the crowd out. Wes Brown was doing likewise for England. But I would imagine, looking around the crowd here, that England fans are going to be outnumbered 5 to 6 to 1. There are all the flags of St. George we always talk about from all 4 points of the compass in England here. But this is a real night where England will have to be really at it both on and off the field.
Just tell us a little bit more about the England warm-up. First of all, the goalkeepers, because you had the perfect view of all those guys when they came out to stretch themselves.
Well, Jordan Pickford appeared particularly focused. I was watching him following the mistake in the incident with Batshuayi during the Belgium game, and he was really reproaching himself during that game, and he was chuntering away to himself and almost trying to get involved in the game and maybe trying too hard. He looked a lot more focused tonight, getting some great support from Butland and Pope alongside him. I think he'll have been buoyed by the words of Gareth Southgate to try
this thigh injury. Dele Alli, I'm delighted to see him. He looked from our loftier position up here very comfortable.
Yeah, he was doing sprints following the game against Belgium out on the field in the warm-down, and he looked like a thoroughbred racehorse then. I think he's recovered very quickly from the injury he picked up very early on in the match against Tunisia, and in training up in Rapino over the past couple of days, he's looked very sharp as well, and England will need him to be sharp tonight. Even a Colombian side missing James Rodriguez will still be a real test for them.
How are you feeling, Nige?
Tense, very tense. The last time England, of course, played a game like this, it seems so long ago, and as we keep saying, this could be such a breakthrough night for Gareth Southgate and these players.
Nigel Adderley, our England correspondent, we hope his journey's not run after tonight as well, and that he's staying out here for some time, and that if he is, it means England are, and we'd all be moving on together. The England fans that have made it here as well, I think they're in for a special night. A lot of them are hardened England fans, there's no doubt about that. Recognise a lot of the banners, we've already told you some of them. I'm quickly going to cast my eye for others that always make it this far. Coventry City do, Crawley Town are here again tonight, Southampton, the loyal England fans are with us as well, and Bristol Rovers once more. We mentioned Bury on tour, but Bradford City as well, the pride of Yorkshire, are always here. Tamworth as well from the West Midlands, and Hartlepool United alongside North Shields, so the northeast, and of course plenty from the northwest here tonight. The photographers have now been brought into position in front of us here, and they're waiting to get the photographs of any of the rich and famous and the celebrities that'll be in the crowd tonight. Of course, there's not going to be anybody from the English point of view because of the problems with between the Russian and the English governments at the moment, and they're not going to be making it to any of these games right now, but plenty of England fans down there. And final thoughts from you, Stuart, before we welcome the two sides onto the pitch. This is a big moment. Can you leave the dressing room here, and as you walk out the door and you're called, you sort of know how you feel, don't you? You want to feel comfortable. You want to feel like you normally do when Saturday comes.
It's going through the routines and making sure this is a very personal time now. I always find the hour leading up, there's a set structure, but it's a very individual time for both players and manager alike, by the way.
Yeah, because the manager, and I've watched Gareth Southgate, he came out and had a word with his oppo tonight, Peckham, and he was very much away from the players. He's done all his work, really, hasn't he?
All the work's done before they get on the coach. All it is a rallying cry before they go out the door from a manager, I believe, and he'll just be looking to kill time. It's a horrible time, that last hour leading into kick-off.
And is it it must be so very different at a World Cup when you know it's 90 minutes. There's no second chance here or third chance. It's all about how you perform for your country on the night.
It is. I think there's a couple of things in our favour. We've done the bare minimum at the moment, Sags. We got out of the group, which was a reasonably easy group. We've done our business in that in the first two games. It's a serious end of the competition now. It's go back to the hotel with adulation and a cheery face, or go back to the hotel, get your bag out, get it packed, you're on a flight tomorrow. It's a soulless place to be.
Well, England are beginning to make their way, and so too are Colombia into the from the dressing room area. It's a long corridor for both of them. Gareth Southgate has been talking. He's been saying we've played in a certain style here. We've got to continue that, and we've got to balance that with making good decisions. England have got to make good decisions tonight. I'm sure they can. I can now see Harry Kane just talking there with Harry Maguire and one or two of the other players as they wait to make their entrance out here. And once more at this stage, we get to the time when the young volunteers, the generation of Russians who have made this an absolutely magnificent World Cup for everybody who has made the journey. They have done everything as volunteers with a smile on their face. They've looked after everybody in a way they can. It's very different for most of them. They've never ever known partying and so many people together like this. And now we see, and the roar from the Colombians on my left, but the right, the first thing that I look at is that cross, that red cross of St. George. It's there in front of those England fans away to our right, and in front of me here, just on my left, the Colombian flag, first unfurled in 1861. It's a tricolour of the yellow, the top half twice as wide as the blue and the red. It means so much to Colombians, this one. The yellow is really all about the riches of the country, the blue, their seas and rivers, and the red, the blood that was spilt for their victory. They've all stood away to our left. We're about to stand any moment now to welcome the protagonists here. Harry Kane, I can see, focused, fixed on what he and this England side. Kieran Trippier just chewing a little bit of gum, again his eyes fixed straight and wide. Gareth Southgate making his way quietly to the bench and sits down now. He's done all that he can. The referee and his assistants have made their way in front of the two sides, and now they begin to make their way out here onto the field. The two mini flags following them with 6 special local children. What a proud moment it is for those 12, that does, and for the young girls.